So DiCrocco, you've been working a lot with health and wellness. You said something very interesting to me about the sugars that are found in sodas or those sugar packets. Explain that more in detail.
Well, just like the artificial sweeteners. What a lot of people don't realize is a single packet of those artificial sweeteners take up to 15 weeks to actually be digested through the human intestine. And if you think about that, a single can of soda, like diet soda, contains 3 packets worth of artificial sweeteners in it. And if somebody consumes, say, 1 soda a day, any given time during that 15 weeks, they're literally walking around with anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds of crystals sitting in their intestines digesting. So by simply cutting out the diet sodas or sodas in general, is going to get rid of a lot of that. But once you have those crystals in your system, you got to kind of get it flushed out. So there's like a simple cleanse that'll help you actually break that up and get rid of it without, it's a non-laxative based cleanse, which is the best one. That way it's kind of uneventful when you take it. You don't have to worry about, running off every 5 minutes, which I find works if you're busy working all day.
Great. Now, you made a comment about some of the nutrients. Even though we're consuming them, if all this stuff is in our intestines, what starts to happen?
Well, that's the other part of it, and you'll find that with a lot of the foods here that we're eating nowadays. Like almost everything contains preservatives. Well, the problem with preservatives are they don't stop preserving once you eat them, and once you get that in your system, what that's doing is it's forming like this lime green gelatin around the inside of your intestines, which actually stops up your intestines, so your intestines can't absorb the nutrients from the food like they're supposed to. And if you look at a lot of the studies done, you have out there where 18-year-olds, their systems usually absorb about roughly 90% of what they're eating. So if you look at it based on like the 2,000 calorie diet, they're roughly taking in of that 2,000 calories, they're getting 1,800 calories out of that. But fast forward to the age of 39, the average American only absorbs 22.4% of the food they're eating. So on that same 2,000 calorie diet, you've now dropped down to 448 calories. So you look at it and you think you're taking in a lot of food, but you're actually just letting it go right through and wasting it. Your body thinks it's starving because it's only getting about 500 calories worth of nutrients out of that 2,000 calories you ate. Now you take that and you put it in with the artificial sugars we were just talking about before, artificial sweeteners. Now you understand why we've dropped from, say, a 90% absorption when we're younger, after years and years of eating all this garbage. Now we're down to 22.4. We got all this stuff in our systems just blocking it all up, which again is where that cleanse really comes in. It helps break all that stuff up, clean it out, so our body can start absorbing the nutrients like it's supposed to.
Great. Now, by the way, where did that 2,000 calorie diet come from?
See, that's like the biggest myth, and the worst part is you have a bunch of doctors that actually still base what they're telling their patients on that. And I would recommend to anybody when they're talking to their doctor, simply pose them the question, hey, do you know where that 2,000 calorie diet came from? And if you do the research on it, that 2,000 calorie diet, the scientists that did it, was actually done right after World War II, and it was based on a 120-pound sedentary woman. Basically means it was somebody sitting around doing nothing, so they didn't really need to take in that much in order to survive. And again, if you're not a 120-pound woman, that 2,000 calories isn't going to be enough for you, even if you are just sitting around doing something. So a guy like me that's 220, 230 pounds, whatever I am right now, I'd be literally starving on that 2,000 calorie diet a day. Then you look at the RDA numbers on those labels that you see on the back of their food where it's like, oh, this is 100% of the recommended daily value based on that 2,000 calorie diet. Well, that recommended daily value was actually based on post-World War II rationing. It's the bare minimum body needs to stay alive. It's not the optimum levels. So by following that, you're actually doing more harm to your body than good.
Well, great. Now, we'll have other videos. We'll talk about how to see how many calories you have to have. And you said there's a whole formula you could follow.
Right, based on your weight and wherever you are. It doesn't matter what you weigh. You always eat for the body you want, not the body you have. So for me, sitting at 230, say I want to be a lean 210, I'm going to eat my calories, my protein, carbs, fats, all that stuff based on that 210 weight, not based on the 230 I'm at now. Not based on, well, I'm going to try and lose 10 pounds for now and drop to 220 and eventually get down to 210. No, I don't want to eat for the 220. I want to jump right to where I eventually want to be. So if you want to be 200 and you're 250, you're not going to go, okay, I'm going to eat for 225. No, you drop all the way down and you eat based on that 200 goal weight.
Well, that's great. Hey, you're turning into a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this nutrition. So we'll have a couple more videos from that. But now we have to get ready for the next class.
Yep.